ban. Ten seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Navi's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Treant Protector.
Navi's turn to pick.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Here we go, game number 2. Navi up 1 game to nothing against Empire. The Summon 7 European qualifiers. Our first round of the playoffs now with 4 teams remaining. So,
reserve time.
Again, worst case, it is double elimination. So you lose here, you just go down to the losers bracket. But we want to take care of business now, and we'll Navi up 1-0 in a good spot to do so. We have a interesting start to the draft, yet again, to say the least. I'm Breaky CPK, joined by Xerox, but we got Clockwork Jakiro coming up for Navi after the Treant first pick.
That's a Jakiro.
It is.
But
10 seconds remaining.
Cool. Let's go with that. Cool. So Clock slips the ban phase. That's insanely notable. First ban the last like 7 or 8 games we've seen. And being picked up here, we'll have to see if it can have the same impact we've seen before. General does play a hell of a Clockwork. And known for buying random items once the game's over. Finished one of the games we saw yesterday with a butterfly. That was pretty cool. But yeah, Jakiro generally means they want to build some type of pushing tempo-based lineup. You don't really want to take a Jakiro in the late game. And we'll see what they can put together, because that Terrorblade
10 seconds
could put a wrench in the spanner if this runs very long.
That's what you did there.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Terrorblade, obviously we saw it in the earlier series as well, and you kind of just bringing up the idea of the hero just in general. It's been interesting kind of seeing this hero as far as, you know, whether it's been successful or not for teams that have run it. But there are a couple that come to mind where, you know, you let them get it, then you better be scared that they have it. So I don't know if Empire necessarily is on that list, but
yeah, I would agree.
10 seconds
and I
remaining.
said a couple games ago, I don't think TB is the late game god he was before. So if you do end up wanting to take it late, which I don't think Jakiro indicates that, you still maybe could with something like a Slark or Naga, or even going like an Alchemist plus a Lifestealer kind of thing. 2 very hard scaling, well, two right click carries basically. We've seen Battle Alk come back a little bit, which has been kind of cool. I don't know if you've caught any of those games.
Battle Alk?
Yeah, he goes like Radiance just to farm, and then he's starting to go damage.
I honestly, when you first mentioned Alk there, I actually thought about that. I really haven't seen Alk in general lately. He has not been a popular hero this event as a whole.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I feel like the premium teams put a fairly decent priority on. They're not going to first phase him most games, but they will pick him in the 3rd, 4th usually. And it's usually about a specific game plan. We're going to stall this out, let out, get to his item combo, and right when he hits 6 items, so 25, 30 minutes, that's when they want to end the game. They have these certain timings picked out, like, exactly.
10 seconds
But
remaining.
what is left here that may have slipped the phases? Legion Commander,
5
still totally in the
seconds
pool for
remaining.
Empire here. Definitely a possibility.
Reserve time.
On the supports, I mean, not really any major supports slipping. I wouldn't have been surprised to see Empire ban Disruptor this game if Navi didn't open Jakira, because it destroyed them last game. Yeah, we're in a meta where you can't afford not to have a roamer. You just lose all the lanes if you don't have a 4 position that can run around. So if you're looking for the roamers that are available, Spirit Breaker's still there. I think it fits Navi's style a lot more than it does Empire's, where they're just going to run at you with relentless aggression. Could look to see that. Earth Spirit's still in the pool, but we've seen that fade a little bit. Ricky, Bounty. Yes.
Lena.
Dire team pick.
Wow. Well, it goes back to the stat that I'd heard yesterday that if your if your offlaner gets a lead, you're more likely to lose the game. Which was the weirdest stat, because LCs we see have been doing very, very well in their lanes. Getting kills right at level 6, getting an early level 6, kind of leveraging the jungle potential it has. And it seems to be a corollary stat, basically saying if your offlaner's ahead, other parts of your team's behind. And then it kind of struggles. But yeah, hey, Rubik from Empire. Nice job.
Navi's turn to pick.
So there is one nice thing with Rubik. If if he's sitting in back and clock goes on somebody, you can lift and throw him out of cogs. And if you throw the clockwork out of cogs, battery assault's not beating on them. Can be a nice way to save somebody, especially in the very, very early game.
Remaining.
So it'll protect the TB a little bit. TB has a notoriously low health pool. Battery assault does magic damage, not physical. So the stupid high armor on Terrorblade does virtually nothing. So yeah, definitely a nice pick just to make sure that if TB gets caught in a cogs, he's not dead.
That's true, yeah, against the clockwork there. And I was trying to think of the Shadow Fiend possibility too, but of course that got banned out by Empire, so instead they go the Lena route.
So this is a bit of a change up for Navi. They didn't save Dendy's pick for last. I cannot see a single world where that's a 4-roll Lena. It's a support clock. Oh boy.
That it is.
I think this is just because of the Rubik pick. I don't think that was the original plan. They saw LC was still in the pool. Empire doesn't have an offlaner yet. Some of the good ones are banned. So they said, well, they already picked the clockwork counter. Screw it. Let's just run Legion off.
5 seconds remaining.
I love this. This draft from Navi seems so adaptive.
Navi's turn to
They do get LC, who's 2-7 in this event.
They do. And Empire picked a pretty good matchup into the Lena. It is going to make it difficult for Navi in the fact that they don't have a roamer that has the ability to move around the map faster. Like, you don't have a Spirit Breaker or something with stupidly long initiation range. Clock kind of needs 6 unless somebody's overextended.
Reserve time.
Huh. So what could you pick for a carry that's going to be dynamic enough? Yeah, I think I would like to see a Slark out of Navi. That'd be what I would say fits what I would like to see their composition look like. It's very good into tree because you can purge out of the overgrowth. Rubik's only CC is very, very long cooldown, so there's not really a lot to stop the Slark. I talked last game about how good of a counter it can be to a TB, and really think it's the best option on the board here.
5 seconds
does
remaining.
Empire see that as well? They still have that final ban, so
yep,
they do.
So back to Juggernaut. I think that's the pick. Again, spin out of overgrowth, shreds through the refraction, which you have some issues with on the Snobby lineup. And the biggest downside to Jug into TB is if you're not aggro tri-laning against him, and you get to that mid-game mark, you can't kill him with Omni Slash. He has like 30 armor. So it just doesn't do the damage you need. If you're Empire here, I'm wondering if CIS Dota's finally going to respect the Abaddon. It's slipped every ban pick phase in a CIS game that I've watched in this tournament. And there really aren't offlaners left. Puck, I guess. But your Darkseer's banned out, your Magnus is banned, your Axe is banned, Clock and Legion both picked. The offlane pool's getting bleak. I guess Slardar could always come in as an offlaner. Really, really good with the TB and TA.
Abaddon still comes to mind.
Yeah, that's the one I said first, yeah.
Yeah. Sand King?
That's
we haven't seen Sand King in a while.
I don't want to see Sand King. I think it's been extremely lackluster every time we've seen it ran as an offlaner. It gets to the point where he's not killing things with Epicenter anymore. Everybody's just got too much health, too much armor, too much MR. There's too many regen things between press the attack, tree armor. Like, every team seems to have ways to stop Sand King from killing people on his own. And it feels very meh to me. I'd just rather have a Slardar here. I think it's just flat out better.
It's fair. Yeah, they definitely need some kind of that initiator. It does.
And it's
like.
so much minus armor. Like, you've got TA with Meld. She's going to be going Deso. Stack of Corrosive Haze. It opens up Roche options like crazy. Gives you that great initiation.
What about a Tide Hunter? Is this where Tide Hunter returns?
I mean, it actually would be the worst game for it. Wow.
Navi's turn to
That's
pick.
definitely a different one too.
CIS actually just hates Abaddon. Like, the entire region just seems to have a vendetta against this. But either way, okay. Carry Morph. Huh. It's a really good game for Shotgun Morphling, where you go the Lincolns into Ethereal Blade. You go all of your points into Agility, and basically Legion's going to duel somebody, preferably the Terrorblade. You press 2 buttons and he explodes. The shotgun combo does thousands of damage in the late game. And definitely a great pickup here, provided he can get to the items.
Yeah. All right, so it is indeed going to be Seneko on the Clockwork. So, as mentioned, the 4 roaming Clockwork instead. Dendi... Wait, what? Dendi's on Jakiro.
10 seconds
Wow.
remaining.
I'm assuming this is trolling in picks. I'm assuming this is trolling in
5
picks.
seconds remaining.
It would be a very Navi thing to do and just swap after this. We'll see.
Really think about what I just said right there.
It's a better matchup into TA. If that's really what they're worried about, it actually is a lot better.
Well, we're going to find out here. It's a matter of seconds as we're loading in now.
Okay, we're going to go into the assumption this actually is a mid THD. The biggest red flag I can see, yeah, it makes your mid lane matchup so much better. But it makes it so you don't have Laguna Blade online around the same time as duel, which is a huge way that you're going to be getting dual kills until Morphling gets an Ethereal, which is going to come out very late in the game. Seneko does spot out the ward. Yep. Nice, easy D ward.
I mean, you're so casual about this, man. Like, I've seen a little bit of off-lane Jakiro, and then, of course, there's a support role, but mid?
Again, Navi adapting.
It's just the matchup.
They said, screw this Lina matchup, I don't want it. I'll take that THD we were going to run as a support. Like, I really do think that was their thought process with the Clock Legion, and I think that was the thought process with the THD Lina. They didn't want to run THD mid. They wanted to run Lina. And then you find it's... Go ahead.
Well, why do you keep saying THD?
Oh, sorry. It used to be called Twin-Headed Dragon. Jakiro
okay. That
yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
sorry. Dota 1, every hero had 2 names. So a lot of us that came from Dota 1 still have the old names like ingrained in our head. Like Potom is Potom, not Marana, to all of the old players. THD,
I know
same
most
thing.
of them. I actually haven't heard that one. Okay.
That's because you never see it picked. No one plays this.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is Jakiro's other name. I will try to call it Jakiro. But yeah, it's just adapting to what situation they were put in. And I hope this works for Navi, because this kind of drafting style was popular for a little while, and I love to see it. Because you never know who's playing what, where it's going. And if they can win a couple key games off this, any game they play in the future, this becomes a risk that other teams have to consider.
My only concern, I love the matchup idea, and he said the reacting and everything, is that this doesn't feel like a Dendi-like hero in the sense of a playmaker, right? Like, you would figure you want to give him that playmaking hero.
Oh, just you wait, man. THD mid can do lots of damage. No, we'll have to see what he goes. If he goes Veil into Yules, he actually can solo kill people.
Yeah.
It does a ton of damage if you just basically Yules them, lay down the Macro Pyre, lay down the Ice Path right before they come down, and you can do like 800 damage.
And Poshka, he was sitting up here without actually any abilities for a while. Now he actually does get Nature's Guise, and gonna use that to invis in, but they do have a sentry, and yeah, they're gonna see him. Sneaking on in, gonna open on a Viper, but just says hello. Rubik's too far away. So yeah, how about this aggressive duel lane as well?
I'm very curious in the way they're handling this. They're just using these nukes to trade off last hits. Like, whoever can nuke the creep wave and get a last hit does it, and their goal is to shove this under tower and bounce the creep wave back to them. Now the wave's going to come to a more favorable position than it was. They're probably going to try to do it again here shortly, where they're just going to spam spells, push it under tower, and then bounce it back.
Yeah, they're going to see the treant right there with that sentry, but they're going to be pushed out.
It's awkward. Lina can't do anything right now. She's a support who took Q at level 1 instead of stun. So it doesn't have any stun potential to try to save General if they do find a clean initiation. But with the poor mans, we know how hard Legion can be to kill.
How is this middle going? 8-5 Jakiro, 4-1 TA. So far,
it's a brutal matchup for TA.
Top lane. Oh, Maposhka actually starting to get a little low. Careful himself, but standing their ground. Rubik's rotating to the middle. Oh, the perfect timing with the courier.
Radiant's courier,
and he's gonna take it out. And I believe that was okay. It's only no. I thought it might have even been a bottle, but still a no talisman.
Yeah, Dendi's so healthy in this lane. He just wants as many items to push his advantages as he can. Losing that will set him back a little bit. Not the end of the world for him, but nice courier kill. That's a lot of gold going to Empire side.
Bottom lane, Pycat on the Morphling. Of course, going to have a good time with so is Faceless. He doesn't really have too much to be worried about down here. Clockwork's roaming back in, but yeah, even with Clockwork, the cogs aren't going to be too useful in that case.
Yeah, it shows how confident Ghost is down here. Opting for time lock over extra points and time walk. So taking the stun increases his jungle potential, but also makes him able to put a lot of pressure on Morphling. A couple bashes and he's just chunked them out.
Terrorblade gets hit by the LSA right there. Gonna run him down, but Chapping just walks back to the tower. Meanwhile, Treant trying to do this jungle stack over here, but the LSA will land. Now Treant Protector puts the living armor up. Is it going to be enough to stay alive, though? The first blood potential. It's not going to be invis in time, and Viper will get credit for that first blood. So good start for Na'Vi.
Yeah, and I want to see Viper getting as many resources as he can here. Kills, levels. You really need it to pair with the LC. And this is how they're offsetting what I was worried about. I said I was a little scared Lina's level 6 was going to be way too late past LCs. If you just lane them together, it's a lot closer.
Magic Manor. Just up there, you're obviously not too worried about the Treant. But this Jakiro, yeah, even with the slight behind because of the no talisman being held off another 15 seconds before the courier's back up, he is dominating here. This middle matchup, 23-15 now. And he really, TA hasn't even been here for a while, I've noticed. TA's basically kind of given up in a lot of ways up the middle lane.
Yeah, I don't mind this at all. Hand it over to Rubik and let TA jungle. She can't lane. You have to try to meld out liquid fires, and if you do that, he just dual breaths.
Yeah.
And it's so brutal.
Level 3 liquid fire now. Doesn't have ice path just yet, so no way to catch anyone necessarily, but understandable being that it's the early laning phase here. It's not looking to be getting kills this time. But you mentioned the early Veil pickup. Is that something you just absolutely expect to see here?
If you're gonna run mid Jakiro, I think it's mandatory. On support Jakiro, probably not. But you have so much magic damage. Lina, Clock, even Morphling early game, just a ton of magic. I mean, Legion's been maxing overwhelming odds lately too. That's a lot of magic. So
yeah,
it's just a huge buff to your whole team. The one thing it's going to be an interesting back and forth to watch. Ooh, bot lane. Is he in trouble? No, that did not work out. Viper, though.
Top lane, yeah. Viper's definitely in trouble. I mean, he's dead for sure. So, I'll say, but kill for Chappie.
So this is the thing. They can't let mid fall here. You have a tree and protector. If you let a tower fall, then you're really just... Yeah, that's insanely bad for Empire. You have a tree, and a tower just fell at 5 minutes. And not to a 5-man rotation, to a single Jakiro.
I'll play him with Poshka. Kind of behind General right here. We're going to go in on the Chappie, but okay, they're actually doing plenty of damage. I'll bring out Viper. Has to turn around with Poshka running on top. They're going to get the open on a General. But again, by himself doing Protector, not really the biggest threat, and they're going to take advantage of that, actually. He's going to go right back into him. Out comes the Dragon Slave, the overwhelming odds, but living armor supplied. Barely stay alive there, but yeah, he's having trouble kind of being the solo support for the Terrorblade. Quite a lot of aggression he's having to deal with. Top lane there, so. Meanwhile, Viper picks up the Battery Rune also. Yeah, he's level 4.5, so looks like his progress is pretty strong here. Something's being delivered to Dendi. It's the full Arcane.
It's Arcane Surge. Yep. Basically, the lane gets a little more dangerous once you take that T1. So he's going Arcanes, either A, so he can group with his team, or B, because it makes his jungling a little cleaner. If you have the extra mana to constantly be spamming out Dual Breath, you can actually jungle fairly okay. FN's like, I'm almost out of jungle camps, guys. Can we get a kill up here while I'm here?
Yeah. Make that happen. The Poshka's maybe dying, though. Living Armor comes at the last second. General, you got to be careful not to overcommit because Port's coming in from Rubik, and Tia is nearby, as we talked about. But he is going to fall back, and after rotation, that's going to lead to not much.
That's twice they were one auto from killing him, and after Living Armor, they just said we can't.
But you know what? They're drawing attention. They're freeing up more space for Jakiro, if anything, and then I guess Pycat at the bottom. Almost level 6 here. He's going to run over 2 Faceless and going to go at it off to the jungle top lane with Poshka.
They're smoking Dendi up.
Oh, actually, Gostic, okay. He was going after Morphling. Yeah, General now is in a bad spot here. King R has the lift ready to go, going to lift him out. No duel just yet. The overwhelming odds takes out the one, though, and the LSA lands on both. In fact, King R's in trouble. He'll barely live. One auto attack away. No, here comes the Dragon's Breath trying to take out Chappie. Chappie going to be stopped by the Battery Assault. He will fall. And now King R, it's his chance to fall as well. General. Oh, Dragon's Blade misses, but it sets up a victory, so it actually almost works out in the end.
Yeah, he just got 6 off the TV kill, too. So getting a dual win, the second you hit 6 there, and you're going to get a tower. Like, 3 kills in the tower, Navi is firmly in the driver's seat.
And your Morphling, again, he's doing just fine at the bottom lane. It's not like he's being locked down or anything, so that's good news as well.
Dendi's switching this up. He realizes the position they're in, that the tempo is entirely theirs, that Empire can't defend these towers. Gonna just go on mech and try to shove this game down Empire's throat. They just want to group and try to end this, like, relatively now.
Their early game presence is very strong, of course, and you got heroes here, you know, their offlaner, in fact, Faceless Void is one that wants a bit of time before he's going to have, you know, very scary impact necessarily. Dendi top lane, pretty open to him. I don't know if he's too worried about dying right here, especially with LC nearby. In fact, Chappie's one that needs to be a little careful. So does the Poshka, as out comes the Macropire, the duel on top, down he goes. Here comes the Chronosphere, though. First one of the game, Jakiro taking some good damage in the midst of it, and end up will falling, actually. So that's got to feel good for Empire. Finally taking him out, but now down goes King R, and Faceless Void in a somewhat bad spot. He doesn't have time lock for another couple of seconds.
And none of the damage is really going to come off, and Sneko is here for him. Can you catch him?
Oh, there's a shot.
Should be okay.
Yeah, force out the shrine at least.
Yep.
Did it still for Navi. Yeah, Dendi going down, but yeah, you're right. Go get that buckler, so the mech now going to be next in line here.
Yeah, he's almost there. Just needs a couple hundred more gold. The recipe is going to just have to take bot tower now. And the big thing in this top.
Yeah, they catch him with that Sentry Ward to get another auto attack off, and then a Rocket Flare comes in from Sneko. Finish the job.
The question mark here is, what do you do with Pycat? Like, if you're going to push all these towers so early, it makes it very dangerous for him to farm.
I didn't think Clockwork was going to die right there, so I kind of went off of him, but he ends up dying to the TA. I was watching them push the bottom lane. You're talking about the Morphling there, but so yeah, he was going for the boundary in a pretty aggressive play on Sneko's part. And happen to run into TA. But yeah, I'm with you there. That's what I was kind of trying to think too. And it's almost like they're stuck with a Morphling, right? Where he doesn't necessarily fit the theme of what they're going for overall, this early push and early aggression. But
yeah, I mean, I don't think this was supposed to be the theme of Navi's game plan. I don't think they wanted to be this aggressive until the 20-ish minute mark, maybe a little later. But with how strongly Dendi dominated the lane, what else did he do?
Oh, the spell still gives away. He's here. The Macrofire's put down with the Ice Path, and Rubik is melting away as a result. He will go down. Fadebolt's not going to save him in that case. Gostic, no Chronosphere for another 25 seconds.
Alright, he did secure the dream though, man. He got morphed. So now he has 0 agi, a ton of health.
Yep. That's how they catch Faceless Void, but walking, he'll be more than 5. Doesn't have his time dilation just yet, but I was gonna say earlier about the idea of Faceless and what should we expect in terms of a build from him. He's going the early Vlad's at least.
Yeah, something like Vlad's Blink into maybe like Diffusal or Maelstrom if he gets to that point. They just need good chronos on him. You have plenty of damage in the TA and the TB. General really wants to find a kill with this brand new Blink Dagger though.
We kind of saw the last Chronosphere, by the way, the first one that he even used. If meta's not up for Terrorblade, it's pretty bad. So you want to make sure, obviously, you're doing the synergy there. But at least he has meta up or ready to go when you do use a Chronosphere.
That helps, and that's one of the reasons why I clicked on that second. You can actually position Chronos super well to the point that a melee person can hit someone from the outside if you have Blink and can get in there and line it up properly.
And up here, LC. Nova Pushka's nearby. He's just out of the sentry range, though. So close. He's going to get an Observer Ward, however, so something out of it. Doesn't have another one on him. Pushka open. Yeah, Gostic is coming over. You're right. He does have that Chronosphere. Will he commit to it? Then maybe try to save the Train Protector. The duel comes out, but the Chronosphere put down. And down goes Lena, and now Legion Commander. It's going to run out, but here comes Clockwork joining the party late with a hook shot, puts the cogs up, and now LC's dead. And Seneka has to make his way out, so nice double kill in favor of FM, and actually
that's a big tempo kill for them. It's going to slow down this push a lot. TA accelerated her farm a ton with that. Already has Blink, very close to one of the 2 Mithril Hammers for Deso, and that's exactly who you want that farm to go to. When you group and push a bunch of towers, it's fine. As I've said a few times, you lose XP, or you lose a lot of XP, but you gain a lot of gold. And with the way rebound mechanics work in Dota 2, you get gold based on the net worth difference between the teams. So every one of these kills is super valuable, and you're already even-ish on experience. So that's huge as a momentum stopper. That can absolutely be the rebound they need.
It seems like it for sure could be. Now, Dendi has the mech here, and is being joined by the rest of his teammates who are smoked up behind him. He's just going to act like he's solo pushing, but obviously that's not the case. And without a Chronosphere, I don't know if Empire's looking to really commit to a fight.
Yeah, it'd be difficult. You have Overgrowth, but that's not actually a stun. That's just a root.
He almost got Rubik right there, but stays far.
Wow. Pycat went on Midas.
Yeah, talk about greed, man.
You already know you. I mean, I guess he's their insurance policy, right? They don't want him to participate.
I think it's a 4-1 strat. That's what I was getting at earlier. It's like, you know what? You have that, as you call it, insurance policy. We're going to do our thing, push objectives, push towers, try not to fall too far behind, if anything, as a team, if anything, be ahead. And then by the time you join, you know, you're just so far ahead yourself individually, so. Seems like that's what they're definitely committed to at this point, and it kind of makes sense, because that goes back to where Morphling feels out of place.
Yeah, I would have liked to see him go Iron Talon, and not because of the extra damage it gives, but because just the raw jungle speed you get out of that active. It can accelerate his farm quite a bit. I'd say as much, if not a little bit more than Midas.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
You got Hero pushing it out, working on a Solar Crest even. Point, so gonna try to enhance some damage and also protect. And EB 4 staff seems like it's always gonna be useful, hell, against both sides. Blockwork on one side and then Faceless on the other.
Four stabs and blinks are super good against Void. Because even when he has a blink, you can blink out of the chrono before it comes down. The cast animation's not the shortest. It's like a Slaughter Crush, basically, in the amount of time it takes.
Is under attack.
See? 13 more 100 gold saved up. He's going to be found by Poshka here. He does have overgrowth as well. Going to open with that bash.
Meta's up as well. They should easily be able to bring this down.
Rubik, he's going in with that waveform that he saw from earlier, apparently. Now he steals the overwhelming odds. Does damage, press the attack. They're committing a lot to this, and they are going to get it in the end.
Whoa, Seneko. Chill.
Seneko, yeah, the hook shot. Now falling back, but they almost want to take this. Enemies. Let's get away from the TA trap. If anything, he has a mech fire, but the Chronosphere gonna catch him. Has that mech. Will he get it off in time? No, the lockdown's too long. And he will fall. You do see Pycat is up here, but again, is he really in the best spot to be fighting right now? Himself, they get the duel off onto one. Chronos, oh, that would be the Faceless Void, that is, actually gets taken out. So they get a victory in the end. And they want more, but Poshka gonna be found. The LSA missed, though, and Lina will get nuked down quickly. The TA jumping back in. So Navi overstaying their welcome for sure. And now Pycat, he's actually in some trouble himself. Gonna go that strength. Press the attack, he'll be fine.
Yeah, you're deviating from your game plan if you're Navi here. It's gonna happen that some people are gonna get picked sometimes. Your warding needs to try to mitigate that as much as possible. But you can't play Empire's game. If you want to fight into Chronosphere after they've already gotten a pick, A, you're insane, and B, you're not doing what your lineup is meant to do.
It's on paper and everything, and he loved the idea of how they were, you know, adjusting, but yeah, the execution seems a little off as the game is picked up here. And it keeps going back to the Morphling, feels so out of place. Now, he almost does have that Lincoln Sphere finish, but that's not even the scary point. As you mentioned, the shotgun build, the Eth blade, that's where at least he'll start being a little more relevant when it comes to being able to assist for some kills. But they're going to try for a Roshan here.
This should be pretty obvious. They just cleared the TA traps, and no one's showing. But maybe Empire just wants to give this up. They still don't have Chrono for 40, so not feeling comfortable without it to take a fight. I'm curious who they give this to.
Well, there's that, actually, yeah. Do you really give it to Morphling, or maybe even Dendy?
That's the problem. None of them are super high value. In general, I guess. But it's just strange. Yeah, none of them are really high value. If Dendy's going to get picked like that, if he's going to be that aggressive, maybe it did need to go on him. But wow. And don't get me wrong, Navi can take this game fairly late if Pycat keeps scaling. Morph is filthy. He can always replicate the TD or replicate the TA and get a ton of damage off of them with his ult. But really, he's only going to be able to kill one person. The shotgun build's only going to eliminate, more than likely, TB.
Yeah.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Agility right now, going to the bottom lane, looking to try to defend, but he needs to be careful about getting jumped on, actually. Meta, running back from TB. But still hanging around, still in that meta form. So recently, and has plenty of support nearby, including
Look at the
TA.
damage. That's 2 hits from Replicate.
Oh, Chronosphere will catch him now. He is shifting over to that strength right here. Is it going to be enough? No, it's not. Too much raw damage coming out of TA in the back line. Traveler good to blade by Faceless Void. He uses the time walk in time, and he gets all the health back that he just lost. At least they'll kill Tree and Protector with a dual victory. But minimal response.
Yo, Tree has to be so happy with that. It was going to be Gostic that got dueled there. The Overgrowth just barely kept LC out of range, and stopped that from being a much better dual target for Navi.
Yeah, I don't want to say it's slipping away from Navi, because again, it goes back to, as you stress, a Morphling is by all means a hero that will scale and has that potential, but
he died.
That, and I go back to this, and this Jakiro pick, as fun as it's to see something different, again, the idea that it's not really a Dendy here, it's not this snowbally hero, this one that's going to be able to kind of take over the game while you buy that time for Pycat. You know, they have the 4-1 strat as a team, sure, but even that, they really haven't been able to make the most effective as these last 5-6 minutes even. And they're trying to make a gank here on the middle lane and make it on a Rubik, but dare I say it's just a Rubik? He did get the winner in the end, but
it's a Rubik with it's a Rubik with a dual win at least. That's something. Pycat's kind of seeing the writing on the wall here, deciding there's too many cores getting too big. Gossic's gotten a couple kills, TA is just massive, and TB is the one he would go shotgun for, so he does have a Manta queued up instead, a way to break out of the overgrowth. And that's, I mean, that's going to kind of make this weird. I don't think Pycat's going to be relevant on this North lane for a while. Like, he may get kills, he may do stuff in team fights, but he's not going to be the reason they win or lose this game.
Well, they do kill the secondary tower bottom, and so to be fair, Na'Vi has cleared out all the outer towers at just over 20 minutes into the game, which is pretty good timing. So, in that perspective, they are actually doing pretty well, and overall, they do still have that net worth lead, although it's dipped quite a bit. They had nearly a 4,000 P early on in the game, and the experience is in favor of the dire side.
Now the question's always, now what? You're trying to push high ground against a tree. Can they get FN here?
Call. I love a kill into FN. Refractor was up initially. The duel's up. The Laguna play nuke even. They might not get the winner, but if they get the kill, that's what matters. They do. And that's a streak stopper as well. Look at that. 555 bounty bonus for General. So that's definitely a key kill.
Yeah,
for
and he needed it. He was starting to struggle. Got that blink at like 11, 12 minutes, and the blade mail just came out before that kill.
Dendi. No lane
He's
here.
So dead.
He's tanky, man. Solar Crest, plate mail, mech.
He's not showing. Okay, I guess all they see is Pycat top, so they have no clue where the rest are. Now they're going to see General. Shortly they should see Fiverr. Then they'll have a better idea of what's actually going on here. They'll know that all of Na'Vi is in their jungle.
They retreat back to the base pretty safely. So Miposhka basically playing vision for them, but Ancient's going to be stolen meanwhile. Do you see that F blade, or at least the Eagle Song into the Ghost Scepter being queued up now from Pycat here?
Fiverr needs to learn how to use a backpack. He dropped his arcane boots, or dropped his wand to arcane boots, or arcane boots to wand. I'm not sure which of the two. And anyone that's played against a Riki or a Bounty or a Tree in solo queue, especially when you're playing like Axe, has gotten their Tranquil stolen or destroyed at least once. Like, just use your backpack. It's so much safer. Like, the Tree was standing right there. It could have just walked up and bashed him and taken it.
The idea, of course, that it puts it on like mini cooldown can be a little frustrating, but
it's like
when you are going up against the Invis, it's something that it's better to be safe than sorry kind of scenario, yeah. But see if that comes to haunt them or not. Did hear the
so after. Yep, and after FN's death there, it does have the BKB up. So you've got some core items coming online here for Empire, BKB on FN, and the Blink on Gostic is now online as well. So they've got better chrono positioning off that, and this is going to be one of the make-or-break fights of this game if it comes out in mid here.
There we go. Goes to protect that middle lane. Initiates for Clockwork on a King R, but it's going to be lifted up, pushed back. Konosphere in the back lines, catches LC. Actually, is just coming in for a duel cure. Seneka, though, takes up that damage. The Konosphere essentially, prevented them from continuing to go in, but Laguna Blade now in the face. Going to get the time walk off again. Yes, he can. He's going to be fine. Ice Path, though it catches Terrorblade, and Terrorblade is a stutter at the last second, though. He'll stay alive for the time being, but he's still taking some good damage. Pycat going that strength. He has that Ghost Center if need be, but he doesn't even need it. Takes out the Terrorblade. Down goes Tree Protector as the Macropire burns through him, and at least TA gets away with our Fraction Blink Dagger combination. But beautiful fight for Na'Vi as a team. And you now see Morphling is starting to be a little more relevant here.
He's getting there, and that E-Blade's going to get closer and closer. And that's the point where any duel becomes an instant kill. Like, you just shotgun someone, Lena presses R, and you have that amp damage from the Fury. It's going to shred through any one person. And really, it all comes down to Void's chrono. No one was there to follow up. If you're not doing damage in the chrono stream, you're not going to win a fight.
It's just a zoning tool at that point, and sure that can be useful, but definitely want to be able to take advantage for that offensive pressure. The time that dilation popped in the midst of everyone, but I think they really care too much about that.
It locks Dendi out of Liquid Fire, which actually kind of matters. It slowed the power push just a touch.
Mech. Perhaps Pycat is falling back. You see Terrorblade porting in, and Pycat on the run, going to actually Ghost Scepter himself right there. Dendi trying to keep them off as well.
They got the tower. That's all they wanted. They wanted to commit to that hard enough that it wasn't going to be at 200 HP. Tree could have full killed it. And between Dendy's Liquid Fire and the one lone catapult just beating into it, barely able to get that.
Tide is money.
Now
And
here's
what
the shrine.
Yeah, what this does is unlocks other things for Navi to do. They were kind of stuck waiting around for Roche until that team fight, and couldn't really get up the hill. But coming off the back of those pickoffs, able to grab the tier 3. Now the shrines are unlocked, which is scaled nicely with the Roshan timer. Like when you're running one of these tempo, super push heavy lineups, that's what you want. You just need something to be doing.
Doing, you got Clockwork, the Hand of Midas, and gets his own medallion into a Solar Crest, actually. So they are going to have a couple of those here. Him and Jakiro picked up, who just finished a Lotus Orb, actually. Wow.
That's what I was just looking at. So A, it gives a lot of armor. That's a good thing, especially against this lineup. But the only real thing you're going to be Lotusing is going to be Sunder. So he's just going to be waiting until TB gets low, throwing the Lotus on whoever's closest to TB in decent health, just to try to stop the Sunder effect. But that's a very targeted item. I think something like Shiva's would have just been better. Like, look at that, the lineup against Empire. Shiva's is insane.
We're going to open on a Morphling down here. Again, going strength, though. Has to go Scepter DP again, but in that case, and yeah, they fall back. So that was a pretty ambitious move for sure. I mean, Faceless was nearby, so they're hoping for a big Chronosphere.
Once he goes full strength, though, he's at like 4,000 health. What's the intention to kill him? What's the damage right now?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah, that's the situation that Empire's going to run into.
Get Terrorblade low, sunder him offensively, and then kill him. There you go. Possibility. What is this about? Maposhka's running down Pycat, so yeah, he's just basically keeping an eye on him.
Yeah, he's a mobile ward. That's all they've used him for most of this game.
You know, with that Yule Scepter herself. Speaking of said item, again, this is a support Lina. Here. Got the cast range talent, and so her in this case especially, you'd expect to get the respawn time.
Yeah.
For a roll, Jakiro, no, not Jakiro, Rubik actually just got a Blink Dagger being delivered out to him, so potential to get better spell steals here. He does have a press the attack currently. Oh, never mind.
Well, the go-do stuff is 4-part is over. We're now in full 4 Protect 1. Pycat has Wicked Z-Blade up, so this is where everything you built is just to defend the moment. You've got double Solar Crest up, a Lotus Orb, even a mech. You have every tool you need to try to keep Pycat alive.
There's Roshan going down, so Aegis now in Morphling.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
with that
attack.
F-Blade finished, he has definitely become a scary target, as we knew could potentially happen. So Navi, the one's up 1-0 once again here in this best of 3. Trying to force that third game and gonna attempt to do so behind a Smoke Ink right here. Bottom lane. On the end, they're gonna run into each other. Who's gonna get the better openings? Nico will get lifted up immediately. They're still right there, but out comes the Cogs. Better tell, he's going to stay alive for the time being. Goes through the back lines, but not really doing a whole lot on top of that once again. Clockwork may eventually fall with that Crimson card even coming up. But now LC running in and looking to find that target on who he wants to duel. Can't find anybody just yet. Pycat in the midst of everything else. He does have that strength coming in. But again, he has an Aegis worst case, so even if he does die, he's not really too worried. Rubik is going to be run down. And off to the side over here, the TP's coming out. I mean, that was a lot less casualties than I expected for sure. Only 1 for 1.
Yeah, Pycat wanted to E-Blade the Morphling, or the TB so badly, but there were so many images. He was auto-attacking each of them once, and he's like, this is taking too long, and just turned on Rubik.
Yeah.
Just quit trying to figure out which one was real. But this should be Navi looking to pressure this tier 3. Aegis still up, and they have a replica to TB.
That Crimson card pickup from Legion Commander, man, I mean, this is a heavy physical team, so they're really giving them even more sieging presence. A lot of these aura-based items on this team, and Morphling. That press the attack is going right from the range tracks at least. You'd have to start to push back TA, and there we go. Range tracks down, now focusing on the melee. I mean, everyone's up. It's just a matter of if they want to go in. No Chronosphere, though.
Yeah, how do they? There's so much backing Pycat right now. Everybody bought an item for Pycat. Solar Crest from Clock. You've got, I mean, Yule's defensively. I'd imagine Force Staff next for Lina to push him out. Yeah. And press the attack, Crimson Guard, Mech, Lotus Orb. Everything is just Pycat, go hit the things.
Overgrowth coming up in about 10 seconds, and again, that Chronosphere, though, the big one at 30. But just like we mentioned earlier, I mean, even the last fight, the Chronosphere, unfortunately, not really getting the best follow-up to it. They're going to hope for that this time around. He jumps in, but it isn't up just yet. Rear Protector got hook-shotted, but he is able to back off the lift on Seneca right there. Melee Rax, it's still got full life, but now they're going to start focusing it. And again, the initiation from Empire is just so lacking right now, at least. But 7 seconds on that Chronosphere. So if you're Navi, yeah, think about backing up here in the near future. Hook shot going off right there. Looks like Luna's gonna throw herself in the air, and she will get picked up. LC puts a duel up on Rubik, though. But LC's gonna be locked down, and the meta form of Terrorblade ripping into him and gets him taken out, actually. Clockwork. He's gonna be lifted up once again. Stole the cogs right there from Rubik, and he will fall. So Jakiro and Morphling do get out, at least.
Yeah.
Eventually they hold.
They split on the back, which gave Rubik a way to get in. He's got a blink dagger, so he just blink lifted one on Biver, and then got dueled, but then the rest of the team was already there. And Pycat and Dendi were nowhere to be found. Dendi was already back farming, Pycat was trying to get out. So, hey, Empire helped.
Well, they still have Chronosphere, and that's kind of the key as well. We're moving forward now.
Meta is down. That's a big thing to definitely point out, but...
They're gonna hold this is still a tier 1 tower. They've only lost 1 tower on their side as well. So yeah, I mean, Navi is so far ahead when it comes to objectives here. This game. I think Empires, they're really gonna need to do that off the back of winning a big fight, and they attempted to right there, but couldn't even get the tier 1. By the time Navi's reset, good to go. The hook shot trying to maybe get faceless, unfortunately. Couldn't catch up to him.
Yeah. The TA Bloodthorn is going to be big. I'm assuming that's what this Chrysalis is. Once you get that Bloodthorn up, you can potentially silence Morphling before he gets Strength Morph off, which makes him super vulnerable, because he's running all Agi going into these fights.
Yeah. BKB, 10 seconds to go on Terrorblade.
Mapushka scouted. They know he's here.
Catch him, though. That's a different story. Sentry's put down. He is in range. But they didn't check.
Didn't quite make it up the hill.
Saw the trap. He's like, I'll be satisfied with this. Again, they're pushing middle, though. Aegis is still up.
And with a TA replicate, this does do some damage.
Oh, yeah. Natus with advantage as well. The F-play nuke on TA, and now they're going right in for the melee racks. They're going to throw catches one in the background, at least. Jakiro. They also catch LC. Jakiro, though, he is pretty beefy, man, and she shows it off as the Crimson Guard goes off right there. The metaform with the BKB from Terrorblade, but he's not doing nearly enough damage. He still has Sunder, putting in the right clicks onto Clockwork, but again, this Crimson Guard keeping everyone alive. They finally kill Clockwork. And now it looks like Navi is yet again going to start retreating, but the root catches Jakiro. Jakiro Macropar, he tried to put it down, but he gets lifted up just before. And he too will get taken out. As the rest on the run, General. Be next. We bash him. Yep, they get the open, but Steel not going to lift. There's the end.
This is super troubling. Super troubling for Navi. Pycat didn't get any substantial damage into that melee rack, and didn't even get chronoed there. Tree bashed him right outside of the chrono he was going to walk into. So a little bit of saving grace for him. TA got scared, backed up right after that, but didn't kill anybody. E-Blade combo was essentially useless, and if you don't have any damage on that, you don't really have any damage.
He's got a mixed style now, and he has a butterfly queued up, so the idea of the right clicks are starting to come out for Morphling as well, but getting out there, no doubt that's probably going to be needed before they can actually be that threat of pushing into the base and finishing off that melee racks, because the supporting cast around him, yeah, they don't have that fallback as well. They don't have that secondary core, you know. Even LC sure has potential with a scaling, but not really, because he went the Blade Mail into the Crimson Guard, as we've seen, very useful, but not an offensive tool. So it really is all in on this Morphling to be that absolute carry and finish this game. And yeah, even his items aren't necessarily screaming, oh, he's dealing plenty of right click here. So
yeah, honestly, I almost want LC just to go Ags. So the Ags effect on LC extends the duel duration by a long time, but the big thing is it makes it so you can only do damage to each other. You can't take outside damage while you're dueled. And I want him to go that and just try to find Void. You just find Void and blink duel him no matter where he's at, and neither of you are going to die during the entire duel duration. Which means they're not going to have a chrono for a long time. It's like 7 or 8 seconds. And that should buy enough room for Pycat to actually be hitting buildings. That needs to be their goal at this game. It's not how do we win a team fight, it's how do we get Pycat enough space to click buildings.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting idea, but if you're, again, with the way he's running the LC, and that kind of would make sense, actually. That's the key tool, is keeping him off.
He's not going to kill anyone in duel. And if he just blinks in and tries to duel the Void without an Ags, I could absolutely see TV with 4 images just turning on him and kind of trying to blow him up.
Yeah. Hero has the recipe for the Shiva's guard right here.
And the plate mail. He literally needs like 500 gold. So, did get the double stack off. This should be within 100 gold of the Shivas. Oh, Pycat. The jerk.
Takes it home. My farm. Yeah, I mean, his armor's ridiculous. I feel like it's getting to a point where it's a little overkill. Is that a thing? Like,
it is.
I mean, stacking that.
He's at the point where you're starting to get diminishing returns in the amount of armor you have, but there's no magic damage coming out of Empire. So if you're going to build defensive, this is the only thing to do. He could look to go an Ags and just lay down the landing strip of a Macropire. Makes it last forever, makes the AoE bigger, and try to just use that to lay it down where Pycat's hitting buildings. But I think we're still kind of seeing echoes of him not going Veil. Because they have good magic damage, but it's starting to really fall flat.
That or just even more, we mentioned the Forest Staffs earlier, or even something like the Scythe, you know, to get more crowd control out of said fight. So it does seem like, yeah, he's maybe getting a little too defensive right here. And already that aggressiveness is lacking of sorts.
Yeah, and
Navi.
This kind of map position is not where Navi wants to be, because if they're getting pushed in, then Pycat can't click buildings. They're, you know, your creep waves aren't there. But Navi or Empire has to be a little bit careful, because if they try to take a fight down here, Pycat's just gonna bots top and delete that tower. So Empire taking it very carefully. They kind of noticed that, backed up, didn't want to take the fight at the bottom tier 2.
Rubik running away from that train right here. He's going to be fine. He's building an axe himself. Kind of interesting depending on what he steals.
Yeah, I don't mind it when there's no like core abilities, right? There's nothing he's deliberately looking to steal. So you go on Ags, so you can just click somebody, grab a new spell, and use it. It gets you a lot of versatility in fights.
Empire's going to choose to evade once again. So Roshan, they would love to do it, but obviously not just yet.
Yeah, Empire's a slight edge on Roche control, just because of TA traps. They're going to know the second it spawns, and it's a super late spawn. Almost one of the latest it can be. So it'll be a little while, and it's going to be a little dance around the Roche pit, because it's eligible now. So both teams are wondering, how long is this going to be? We can't lose vision of it, especially Navi. If they lose this Aegis, it's really bad.
Nico running up. Jumping right here. Popsicle set for the press the attack. This is the hook shot, however. LC's still going in. He's going to get the duel up on the tree, but he doesn't really have any follow-up, so not nearly enough damage. The Blade coming out. They really want that kill on him and Poshka. They're going to get the kill, maybe. Living Armor keeping it alive, but meanwhile back here, the Chronosphere comes up, but they get the lockdown on a Morphling. Morphling is dropping in the midst of this. He's going to stay alive. Ghost Scepter on himself to be tanky enough. Now, we see Clockwork going back in. They did get the kill on Trian, and that's so far the only death. Make it Rubik as well. He drops a trap. Lina will also go down, though. Double support right there. FN is caught by the Ice Path. And this could be a big follow-up. Do they have the damage to take him out? Absolutely. TA goes down. Roshan's up in 18 seconds. They're hoping it's up now.
Yeah, they're just going to take buildings. Okay, does Morph still have a replicate? Yeah, they're going to just run this middle, try to get this middle racks. At the very least, force a TA buyback. And then if they get the buyback, they're going to turn to Roche. This Faceless Void's so close to his Aghanims. That severely reduces the cooldown on Chrono, and they need it badly.
There we go. The other racks. Going for it. And for it. No, they're not going to pop it. They might have gone for that right there, but going to be using it at the top lane perhaps. Tier 3 pressure now. Find a Morphling, pop the Mantis style, get more damage out. Has enough gold or just about there for an Eye of Scotty, by the way. Gonna actually kill Scepter himself here. Still wants that tier 3 buyback going to TA, so yeah, there's the getaway now for Navi.
Yeah, that's what they really wanted.
And definitely accomplished. Yeah, they take out the middle melee ranks finally, and they get the buyback on TA. So Na'Vi, a beautiful sequence. Roshan is up, so here comes the key fight now. If one has the Roshan finish.
Empire's feeling the inevitability starting to be within their grasp, where we have 3 scaling cores, they have 1.5. Like, they know if they can just stall out long enough, keep items progressing and not lose too much, the game will eventually be there. So it's a chess match for Na'Vi. What can we get out of them? What resources can we take? And giving up this Roshan would be a critical resource to lose here. And it's dropping fast.
Nice path put down, but is it going to be a steal? Chronos in the back lines. No steal to be had. Roshan goes down. No Aegis pickup, though. Finally, FN picks it up. But again, no follow-up with that Chronos burst. And now they come out. Crimson Card is up once again. Clockwork. He's taking some damage to the Terrorblade as Faceless jumps in, but he's going to be tooled on up, and they will get a winner for the LC. Macropire's put down. Chappie in the midst of it. He's going to BKB TP out. Do they have a stopper? They do not. And he makes it out in time. Faceless Boy, the only one to die. But again, they get the Aegis onto TA and get out of there. And at least looking to reset for now.
He bought the eggs, though, so he doesn't have buyback on Void. That's like a 9-second stun on. Not literally, it's like 4 1/4.
It's still a long stun, though, yeah.
It's forever. Yeah.
He is fine there. But
that's the other side to Morphling. If he's building this super hyper carry build, if he's running away in full strength and you're just one hero chasing him, he just presses W on you and kind of laughs. Ooh.
Swing going in. More than fine. You got this. Tankiness is insane, but not tanky enough as Lena just dropped right there, but they force a BKB out of TA. This will be a tieback, remember. Doesn't have it. The timer's still up. Rubik, he is going to go down right there. TA.
She's dead.
Going to be told. She is going to die, and she will be resurrecting with the Aegis. Okay, that's right.
They have Ice Path for her, though. She's going to die. No, she's just dead again.
They did not catch initially. They did, actually. So TA dead for 105 seconds right here. Terrorblade, he takes that F-blade to the face, but without
you have an
TA,
unmeted TB and a Chrono to defend this. That's it.
They're just going to have to do a very defensive Chrono right here, if anything. Terrorblade, in fact, he's being gone off the perhaps safe. In time dilation comes out. There is that Chrono. They
beautiful.
lose Tree Protector off to the side. They do catch Morphling. He is dropping somewhat himself, but it's not enough. Out comes the Lotus Orb. He gets lifted up, but now he's good to go. The F-blade on himself, and now he's looking to return some damage. LC press the attack. Purge buffs, or debuffs even, gets that rage and goes back in, gets the kill on a Terrorblade, buyback immediately. This is a last-ditch effort for Empire. Na'Vi trying to finish game number 2 and take the series right here. And it looks like they're on the verge of doing so. The mid-Dendi Jakiro is going to end up working out, very likely for Na'Vi. The duel comes out,
wow.
Faceless is dead, and the Ancient is dropping, and GG, well played. It will be official. Na'Vi takes the series and moves on to the winner final.
Holy shit. They just ran. They won with the THC mid.
They did. And you know what? We gave them a little bit of crap there for maybe overdoing the defensive side of things, but they waited it out. That mid game was definitely starting to look a little scary for them because of the lack of damage, but their game plan worked out in the end. They were
really did.
in it.